Owls Media Network, Teddy Steinberg alongside Ryan Goodwin for the start of the second period here in southwestern New Hampshire at Keene Ice. The Owls lead the Salem State Vikings 1-0 thanks to a breakaway goal from their captain, or one of their captains, Ava Iantoska, for her 4th of the year. The Owls, in my eyes, played one of their best periods that they have so far this season. And it's a perfect way to start the new year after having such a slumpy December, like you mentioned, Ryan.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the little bit of time off, the little kind of holiday break, I think sometimes it can help teams. If you're going really well in December, I think it can have the opposite effect. But if you had kind of the rough months that Keene State had, I think it's a good way to reset. You kind of have a new excuse too. It's a new year. You can start fresh, you know, clean slate, all that. And they did get outshot 13-8, but overall, like you said, Teddy, a really solid period. Really nice goal from Ava Iantoska. Looking forward to see what happens here in period 2.
You mentioned how teams that are doing poorly in December can start to pick things back up after a long break. Salem State was doing well in December, and they kind of looked not so well in that period. Maybe they'll be able to get right back into this one, although they're out shooting the Owls.
Yeah, luckily for them, obviously, still a long way to go in this game. Still 40 minutes still to play, so obviously only down the goal. They can get right back in this one very quick.
Puck is dropped, and we are underway in the middle frame here at Keene Ice. Here's Bennett. She'll put one behind the net. Basin's there. Is that one played to the point? Bennett fires one. Blocked by Irons. Oh, it's off the post!
And almost right on cue. They almost just had it right there.
It was a good play by Iantoska to get a leg out and block that one, but the bounce almost went right past Chung.
And that time the post was Chung's best friend. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but thanks to it, keeping it out.
Great shoulder there from D'Souza, knocking into Bosworth, who took down Greenleaf in the process. As here's Bazin losing the handle. Greenleaf gets it back into the deep end of the Owls, and she'll go for a change. Ambrosino. Handled now by D'Souza. Good puck handling there. She'll get it in deep and will go for a change. That one off the boards, past the stick of Stewart. Icing's waved off as it hits Chung right in the stick.
Couple penalties on both sides too in the first period. Neither side able to take advantage of the power play, but
here's Stewart. Handled by Finke. Makes some room for herself. Here's Norman. Tries to make a move. The Owls were offsides. Who is that getting leveled? That was DeMayo at the blue line.
Yeah, there's been some hitting in this game. Physical first period.
Schneider, great angle there from Stewart. Good physicality too. Denying Emily Schneider of a chance. Finke. That pass intercepted. It's kept in the zone. Besser trying to get a handle on it. Oh, fresh off the bench, trying to go for the puck was Martucci, but she fell over. Here's Ambrosino. Gets it in. Stewart has 2 Vikings on her tail. Norman. Beautiful breakout there from the Owls. Finke able to hold on to it. Makes some room for herself. Drops it back. A try from DeMayo, and that one caught a piece of Borad out in front. That was a missile.
Had a lot behind it there from DeMayo. Great chance for the Owls.
Here's Hellstrom trying to keep it in. Second chance she does, but it goes right back out. Or so I thought. And the Vikings needed a few more seconds just to handle it. Beastrom, tough pass there, taken away. Now getting tripped up is Thunnell, and Salem State will go to the power play.
Yeah, I knew as soon as Thunnell went down that was going to draw a penalty. And just like that, they always going to have to kill off the third of this game already. At 2 in the first period. Hasn't been their cleanest game in that category, but we'll see if they can go to 3 for 3 on penalty kills.
It's their second tripping penalty of the afternoon. Emma McNeil will sit for 2 minutes. There's an early whistle. Albanese went early. And so Osgood will take the draw. The Owls win it. Good. Tries to clear it out. It's taken back. Bennett blocked by Finke. Or pardon me, Pomajba. Great effort there. Let's get your screen there. Both teams 0 for 2 on the power play. This is Salem State's third. Good poke there from Wiseman. Here's Bennett. Keeps it moving. Going around the horn here. Holds up the top of the blue line. Shoots, the rebound still there. Chung made the initial save and it's cleared out.
Great job by the Owls defense. Able to get a lot of white jerseys in front of the net. Able to knock it out too because Chung did not have a good visual on that puck.
Now Wiseman jamming at it in front. She goes down and will go to 4-on-4 action. Great effort there from Emma Wiseman. She is slow to get up, taking a shot to the back of the head.
A great effort by Wiseman. Good to see her get back to her skates, but that's the second time that Salem State has basically cut their power play short because of the penalty, and that's just something you can't have happen.
And that's Aislinn Bennett, one of the Vikings captains. So we saw in the first period, Isabel Besser, one of the captains, cut the power play short. Only 21 seconds into the man advantage, now 53 seconds into this power play. You have your captain on defense take a penalty.
Yeah, so Owls are going to have, on the other side, about 53 seconds of the power play.
Now Patrick battling for it. Wraps it around, Ian Tosca the target. She'll battle for it in the corner. Patrick there for help. Tries to feed up to DeMeo. But Schneider was there waiting. Tries to cut it into the center. Martucci comes away with it. Ian Tosca takes her down. We play on. Puck still loose underneath Martucci. Taking it away is DeMeo. Here's Patrick. Chipping it around the defender. Ellie Patrick shoots and Cox makes the save.
Nice save there by Cox. First shot of the period as well for Keene State as they near double digits on the afternoon. And hopefully can keep this puck in the attacking zone because again, they're going to have just under a minute of a power play once this 4-on-4 is up.
And just under now 20 seconds of 4-on-4 time. Here's Bazin. Over to Kensley Good. Fires one. It's blocked. Puck still loose out in front. That one, I believe Cox got a piece off the stick of Norman. Bazin walks the line. Finke drops it back. Owls now on the power play. Bazin shoots and it's gloved by Delaney Cox.
Yeah, nice clean look there for Bazin, but Cox able to see that one through all the way and make the save. Owls now up to 10 shots on the day.
50 seconds of power play time. Brought to you by Sullivan Tire. 15:03 to go in the second period. The Vikings win the draw, and Tosca goes down right at the circle. Patrick too strong for Ian Tosca, but goes all the way around. Norman's the first one there. Ian Tosca in the near corner. Up top to Patrick. Patrick tried to find Ian Tosca, but couldn't. Norman, great pressure as Patrick takes it away. Patrick centers one, the puck's still loose, still whacking around. Finke poking at it, and Cox is able to find it and get a whistle.
That was a great play there for Keene State from Loreline Norman. Able to hold up the defender, and that's been something that Keene State kind of struggled with there on the other side in the first period, was getting the puck out of their defensive zone, and now trying to force Salem State into some of the same mistakes.
Here's Jones. Wins the draw. McNeil. Bazin. The Owls' second unit out there. McNeil couldn't handle the pass. And she gets taken down hard with Albanese. Goes out of the zone. And that will just about do it for the Owls' power play. That one poked out of play by Ballsworth. So 2 seconds left. We'll have a neutral zone face-off. Here's a look at assistant coach Jody Mercier. member of the Owls women's hockey team last year, as well as the women's golf team.
They got to stick around with the staff after last season. A good piece of that team, the inaugural team in program history.
Physicality keeps up as Bazin took a shoulder behind the net there. Edmonds through a check. As a beautiful stretch pass handled by Spinelli. 2-on-1, Spinelli shoots. Cox makes a save. The rebound still there. The net gets dislodged by a Salem State defender.
Maybe a saving grace there for the Vikings, because that was a whole wide open right side of the goal, but luckily it comes unlodged. And we'll have a face-off as a result.
Looks like we're gonna have a neutral zone face-off. I'm not sure why.
I'm not either.
Looks like she wants to talk it over with Robert Taylor. Or pardon me, Joseph Young, but I mean, the Salem State defender knocked it off its peg.
Yeah, usually you see that stay in their defensive zone.
And Ian Tosca goes a check from behind, and the Owls will be a man short again.
I'm sure it'll be a point of emphasis from Coach Morgan after this game. Whatever the final result is, but Keene State has to limit these penalties. Not to 4. 4 penalty kills they're going to have to be on. And thankfully their defense has, again, stood tall, and they've gotten some breaks with some other Salem State penalties. But definitely going to have to clean that up. And Coach Morgan not happy, understandably.
Yeah, you don't expect Salem State to cut their power play short for a 3rd time, so.
Yeah, those have been gifts, couple gifts.
That one deflected, still loose, they score!
It's like Michaela Holland, I think.
The freshman out of Malden ties the game at 1 on a juicy rebound right off the faceoff.
Yeah, and just Keene State was playing with too much fire. I mean, 4 power plays allowed. The Vikings are bound to break through at some point.
The first goal of her career, 13:32 to go in the second period, a power play goal for Michaela Holland.
That's got to feel good for her first collegiate goal.
Now off the draw, Newton. Handled out by Bazin. Good move around Holland there. Hits Edmonds. Now here come the Owls. Here's Emily Edmonds with a break. She fires one wide. Now in the feet loss, Spinelli shoots. Cox makes the save. Still in the zone. Bazin, that one turned away and covered up by Cox.
And despite still being outshot, Keene State has really ramped up the attacking pressure here in this second period, getting a lot more looks. Unfortunately, though, Delaney Cox has been equal to the task so far, but we'll see if Keene can keep it up, especially trying to answer the Viking power play goal.
Salem State comes away off the tie-up. Stewart gets a touch on it. Patrick tried to hit Ian Tosca. Ian Tosca comes away with it, gets taken down, and the Owls will now go to the power play. So it seems that discipline was left in 2025.
Yeah.
Now, what is that, our eighth penalty of the game now?
That might, actually, yeah, you're right. I think it is.
With only 12:48 to go in the second. Usually with that amount of penalties, you see like big scrums with multiple penalties being given out at once. No, it's just 8 separate minor penalties.
Yeah, these are 2 teams maybe a little rusty again, coming off the break. This is almost like early season stuff.
Here's Patrick. Good sliding block there from Albanese to deny Patrick of a shot. Finke fires one. That one was either blocked or off of Cox. Tried to center one. Ian Tosca couldn't handle it. Nice touch pass there from D'Souza. Finke shoots. It's blocked again. And that one cleared out.
And now Keene State has to take advantage. This is their 4th look in the game on the power play. And so far, they have no goals to show for it.
The minor penalty went on Alexa Robertson. Taking down Ava Ian-Tosca. Norman crashes into the boards. A little slow to get up, but the Owls handle it. It's Finke up top. Edmonds couldn't get the shot off. Still there out in front. Finke. It's off the side of the cage. Here's Edmonds. Up top to Bazin. Fires one. That one caught a piece of someone and went wide. Bazin now. The Owls struggles to handle the puck continue, but great pressure there from Spinelli as she keeps it in again. McNeil fires, blocked, still there, and it finally gets out of the zone.
That's one thing that the Vikings have done a terrific job of in this game, is not letting those shots get through.
Bazin shoots, it's easily sticked away by Cox. Now here's McNeil working on the blue line. Pressure coming, and it goes out of the zone. Patrick wraps one around as the Owls power play finishes up.
That's rough. Now 0 for 4 on the power play.
More contact in the corner. Ian-Tosca and Bosworth went down, and now here's a breakaway. Trying to feed one back door, couldn't hit Greenleaf. That was Robertson fresh out of the box.
That was a great effort too there from Ellie Patrick, able to kind of break up that pass with the hustle.
Then a puck sneaks out in front. Chung makes a diving stop.
Wow.
Robbing Martucci. A beautiful move, but an even beautifuler save. I don't even think that's a word.
Making up words here, but that was great. Out of Chung.
Stewart lost it. Martucci shoots. Chung makes the save.
Some bad turnovers for Keene in their own zone.
Now that one blockered away by Chung on the redirection.
And that was an impressive save too. I mean, again, the puck changing direction.
That one kept in again. That one by Radford. Now Martucci tries the center one. It's off the back of the net. Now Ian-Tosca going down. The Owls will go to the power play again.
5th time in this game.
But now here's a break for Finke. Salem State caught in the change. Brianna Finke. Saved by Cox.
What a save.
What goaltender play we have this afternoon.
I know, it's been outstanding. From those few saves that Chung made, that great save there by Delaney Cox. Got beat on kind of a one-on-one earlier, but not that time, denying Brianna Finke.
So Martucci, that called for her second penalty of the afternoon. The Owls back to the man advantage. 9:17 to go in the second. So what was a very fast first period, this second period is taking just as long.
Yeah, it's slowed down pretty dramatically here in period 2 with all these penalties.
McNeil fires one. That one from Spinelli. She couldn't get the shot off. Keene State now with their 5th power play of the afternoon. Bazin wraps it around. Spinelli's there. 9 minutes to go in the middle frame. That one too far for Jones. And it'll be an icing.
You can say, you just feel like they have to finally hit on one of these power plays. I mean, 0 for 4 going into this one. You don't want to be 0 for 5. I mean, Vikings have given them plenty of chances in this game. And for the most part, they just haven't taken them so far.
Off the draw. Edmonds couldn't handle it. Robertson making a move. Goes behind the net, and the Vikings will retreat. Edmonds. Not great touch on that one. And the Owls have to restart again. Jones cross ice for Spinelli. Spinelli didn't handle it. Now here's Bazin. Good pressure coming from Schneider. And she'll get that one in deep. Edmonds. Here's Patrick. Cross ice. Edmonds couldn't handle the pass again.
And it's just been a really uneventful Keene power play so far.
And what was a great first period, too. It seems the Owls, that one deflected off of Patrick, and Chung had to play it away. It's been a very sloppy second period so far.
Yeah, all the penalties, and then obviously these chances, too, are just not able to really do anything with it.
D'Souza gets dropped at center ice. That one off the post. Patrick, the rebound, still there. The rebound still loose, and it goes behind the net.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how Delaney Cox was able to save that second one. First one, she got some help from the post, but...
And now, is that going to go on to D'Souza? Yeah, that's going to get a response from the Salem State players. And now we have... Oh no, this is not what we want to see. Another scrum. Ian Tosca's in there. D'Souza is being held back. That was a helmet that got thrown away.
Yeah, somebody got knocked right into the glass, and
was it Patrick?
Yeah.
She just took her helmet off. Think he's missing a glove. And who's a Salem State player that's down? Finally getting up. That's Greenleaf. Patrick still talking with Besser. We'll see what's assessed here.
I hate to say it, but you almost feel like this was coming. I mean, just the amount of hitting, amount of penalties that have been in this second period especially. Both of these sides, I think, are frustrated.
So Greenleaf goes into the box. D'Souza as well. That looks like it will be the only penalties so far that will be assessed. It really all stemmed from D'Souza trying to lay a huge hit at center ice. Got reverse hit in the process, and then tried to throw another hit there on the boards, and that's what triggered the response.
Talking it over with our PA guy today, Ryan Otterson.
Wish there was a way to they could relay that information to us quickly. So Ian Tosca also in the box.
I wonder if they're just going to assess kind of equal penalties for each side.
Well, I saw some signals from one of our people in the booth, Aiden King, showing up the 10 symbol and the misconduct symbol. So if that's a sign that Ian Tosca or D'Souza got a misconduct, I'm not super sure.
We saw something like this, at least at the end of the Southern Maine game. There was a bit of a scrum there, too. Although there were no misconducts out of that. As it was pretty much as the time, I mean, it was right as the game expired, so.
Yeah, but like you said, it's been a very physical game so far. You had to think some extracurricular would have happened, but it really just exploded.
Yeah, it did.
What's been a very, very competitive game.
Yeah, slow-moving second period as well because of all the penalties and all the stoppages as a result.
And there's still 7.5 minutes to go.
As official there, Terrell Rose talking it over with Coach Kizzy of Salem State.
So Ian Tosca out of the box, talking it over with one of the referees.
Be interesting to see though how this, in the end, all gets sorted out. Looks like they're pretty close to having it solved.
Nice look at Finke and Patrick, two other players that were involved. Besser was also in the midst of it.
Yeah, it looks like a couple Owls are in the box. So a couple for each side. I think Ian Tosca's in there.
Ian Tosca and D'Souza. Greenleaf in the box for Salem State. Martucci still has 13 seconds on her penalty. So it looks like it'll just go to 5-on-4. Matching penalties there between those players.
And whenever you have an instance like that of a lot of players getting in a scrum, I think that's usually what you see is kind of equal penalties, even penalties for each side. The players involved.
So now we're back to full strength. The Owls, 2 men in the box. So potentially there was a misconduct assessed. That one gets past good and out of the zone. Chasing after it, Bazin. Trying to make a move around Beatty. And it's into the far corner. Good. Lost it. Taken away. Beatty a chance. Loose out in front. Chung able to find it. Another save. A drive is blocked out in front. I'm not sure if Bazin, Chung, or Palajma got a piece of that one.
What a stop it was, though, whoever did.
Palajma's pass for Spinelli can't connect. Now Beatty's wide open in the neutral zone. She'll handle it, but the Owls are back in time. Here's Stewart. Bosworth off the boards. Here's Holland. Controlled by Thunnell. That one goes wide. Now playing out in front. A shot, and it goes off of Chung and in. Kaylin Ambrosino puts Salem State ahead.
Yeah, just unfortunate there. You see Chung make a lot of tough saves, but I think that's one that she probably would want to have back, although it was a clean look from Ambrosino. And momentum has really flipped here in this second period.
Yeah, it's a loose puck that came out to Ambrosino, the first goal of her career, the freshman from Enfield, Connecticut. 5:54 to go here in the second. The Vikings have their first lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, a couple of firsts on both of the Viking goals. The first for Michaela Holland as well. So the freshman getting involved.
That one taken away by Schneider, making a nice move going down. No penalty called there. Patrick tries to hit McNeil, and it's taken back. Ambrosino, that one goes wide. Here's Schneider. Patrick handling it. Tries to get around Schneider, she's unable. Martucci cycles one. Nails with good pressure as Schneider goes down. Now here's Patrick. McNeil gets it into the zone. Patrick will go for a change as well as the Owls defenders. Now stretch pass, not handled by Schneider. Icing's waved off. Here's Good. For Edmonds. Gets the chip around. And the Owls were on sides. That one wasn't handled by anyone. It's knocked away. Beatty working with Bazin. Here's Good. That pass intercepted. Ambrosino. Two players go flying in the neutral zone.
Who tripped up on their own.
Here's Bazin. To the slot, Good. Great pass there, handled by Spinelli. Nice move. Two men to beat. That one gets blocked. And now here come the Vikings in transition. And off the boards, icing waved off. Stewart's the first one there. Has some open ice and she'll take it. Now, Finke working in the near corner. Palajma there for help. Wrapped around and played ahead. Stewart. That pass knocked away and Albanese gets it in deep. Stewart off the boards. DeMeo. Here's Norman. Good pass there for Finke. Finke, nice toe drag and on goal, and Cox makes the save.
That's a great save again there by Cox, but what a move from Durana Finke. Able to get a clean look on net. It feels like that's the first time in a while the Owls have had a nice shot like that. They had plenty earlier in this period, but momentum has since flipped back to the Vikings. We'll see if Keene can get it back.
And Delaney Cox has been great so far this afternoon. Besides that lone breakaway goal, she stopped every shot that she's seen. And really on that breakaway, Ian Tosca made a nice move. She didn't really have a chance. That one finds its way out. Martucci for Besser. Besser shoots it. It's blocked. And Good with speed is able to chip it around. Patrick Knocked away by Bennett. Bennett over the red line. Gets it in deep. Stopped by Good. As Besser is finally able to get it behind the red line. Patrick couldn't handle the pass. Chung, it's still loose, but she's able to cover it. 2:37 to go here in the second. Salem State up 2-1 on the Owls.
Yeah, we'll see if, if Keene State, these final 2 minutes and a half, if they can get kind of momentum back on their side, especially heading into the third period. I'd say they definitely won the first period, but they've for sure lost this second period. So will it be bookends today maybe for Keene?
Here's D'Souza. Good breakout there as Edmonds plays it off the boards, but a better play from Ambrosino. DeMeo. Puck right on the skate of D'Souza. Beatty able to take it away. Tries the center one, no one there. Spinelli loses the handle. A dangerous play there. As now it's out to Salem State. Beatty working with D'Souza. Here's DeMeo. D'Souza has some open ice. She'll chip it off the board. Spinelli can't handle it, but icing's waved off. Now Funnel wide open in the neutral zone. They couldn't get it there quick enough. That's a good poke there from Finke. Jones now in pursuit. She'll take it away. Tries to hit Norman. She can't handle it. Finke working in the corner. Tries to send one to Norman again, and she can't handle that one.
Unfortunately, just right to a Salem defender.
That's going to be icing on Salem State.
It's always, I think, a neat time of day here at Keene Ice when the sun's starting to go down a little bit. You get it shining through the glass doors there and a little bit on the ice.
Yeah. As the days now start to get longer and longer.
Thankfully, yes.
Hopefully.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
We're headed in the right direction.
Good. Tries to get a shot off. It's blocked. Minute left here in the middle frame. Bazin gains the zone. Loses the puck, but Finke is there for support. Finke takes contact behind the net, wrapped up as the puck's still loose. Ian Tosca now there for support as well. Ian Tosca shoots, and Cox gets the glove on it.
Yeah, relatively easy save there for Cox, but nice to see Keene State starting to get some more looks on net as they try to build momentum for the third period, perhaps even tie it up before then.
39.1 seconds left. Ian Tosca wins the draw. Beestrom tried to find Stewart. It's knocked away. Good back check there from Beestrom, but a good read there by Osgood to get it out of the zone. That one finds its way right in front of the net. It's cleared out. McNeil in pursuit. Beestrom. 11 seconds left. McNeil. That one poked out by Ian Tosca, and that should just about do it for the second period. That one thrown back into the zone. And as the clock hits 0, Salem State with a bounce back period. They lead Keene State 2-1 at the end of 2. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the start of period number 3 in the first game day of 2026 here on the Owls Media Network.